We talk about new generation, and today we are very happy to have Lei Jun to have an interview. Lei Jun is the person that attracts the most attention in the last 5 to 6 years in China. I think in business sector in China, he's a arguable person, and in early 1990s, I think about 100 people who had access to internet in the early 80s, 90s, and a few of them still stayed in the internet sector, like the Jack Ma and Ding Lei. Lei Jun started his investment, I think, in 1990 in Zhuoyue, who partnered with Amazon in China later, because the venture capital concept was introduced in China in 2000 only. Lei Jun is also renowned for the 2000, the one who launched the Xiaomi cell phone, and Lei Jun is the one of leading person who invested in the red ocean to start the smartphone manufacturing. I remember in 2001 in Shenzhen conference, he showed me his Xiaomi cell phone. At that time, I didn't believe in his success because there were so many big players, including Motorola, Nokia, Ericsson, including Apple, and so many big players battling in this field. However, as a new player who had no experience in the sector, I really think his cell phone manufacturing was risky. However, in the later years, we found he really brought us some surprises. I think this process, his story is full of surprises. Now it's 2016. Let's back to the 2010. How would you review your cell phone at that time? He said, back to the year 2010 when I started the Xiaomi cell phone, I thought about it for quite a long time. Today, the business compared to 6 years ago when I started the Xiaomi cell phone was almost the similar story, but much larger than what I expected. He said, you thought about today's business, the size of it, as well as the ecosystem that you started. He said, Lei Jun said, I thought about the business model, the feasibility, as well as the new approach, whether it would succeed in China. I remember at that time that you mentioned 7 keywords, such as dedicated, fast, and reputation, and others. So how would you review these keywords? What is the role of the keywords in the business success? He said, I applied the internet thinking to the manufacturing of cell phones. After so many years, now many people thought internet thinking is a technical approach only. Back to 2000, when I worked on the Zhuoyue.com, I thought internet is only something technical. When I sold my shares to Amazon, and I thought about it for 1 year. Now I think it's more than a technical way. It's a methodology. How would you apply internet thinking to find solutions to the physical issues? Then I try to think, what are the applications of internet thinking that can have emerging successful business? Now people talk about it, and there are many writings and literatures about it. But I summarize it in a different perspective, how to apply internet thinking. I summarize it with 4 keywords: dedication, and to extremes and reputation as fastness, the high speed. I think when I work on Xiaomi cell phone, I implement these keywords. Well, might be different from others' point of view. It seems that Xiaomi is working on everything. I think there were two major comments. He said, well, on one hand, Xiaomi's application of internet thinking to the traditional manufacturing. I mean, people, I think, had consensus of the fact, and consequently, this trend has an impact on the manufacturing sector, even globally. Not so long ago, Lei Jun wrote about the Xiaomi's story. I think that's also a contribution. But now we had two other arguments. First is the Xiaomi successfully applied the internet thinking to the manufacturing, such as dedication, fastness. Well, however, there were two things arguable. First is the technical issue. I remember back to the year 2013, you had a bet with Dong Dajie, now reviewed as abstracted to argument versus internet thinking versus the technical approach. Now, the second argument is from the very beginning, Xiaomi worked on the cell phone, then back to the ecosystem like the electric cook and the drone and other products. Now, how would you elaborate on what do you think of the expansion? First is the technology, second is the ecosystem of Xiaomi. Let's analyze it one by one. Lei Jun said, I think many people, or in the past 6 years, we were dedicated to our own business because the internet can penetrate directly to the ultimate users. In the last few years, we didn't spend much time communicating to the public who we are and what we are doing. We had some press releases, usually product launch, but seldom we had interviews with the media. But taking this opportunity, I want to share with you what we want to do. Back to the year 2010, we thought China was the manufacturing center and manufactured a lot of products. However, our products were not generally accepted by the world. Many people think that the product was of low quality and of other issues. So at that time, we thought how to make great products with the dedication, with the artisan spirits. But now, many entrepreneurs would like to make great products, but only few of them succeed. I think the point is China, on the whole, has a lower operation efficiency. So our critical point is to improve the efficiency from the R&D to manufacturing, marketing, and the service. So only with the high efficiency, we can have successful differentiated products. How to improve the efficiency? I think there is a correlation between them. For example, take the shirt as example. Probably the cost is 100, but sold for 1,000 RMB in the store. Suppose if you want to sell for 500, can you sell it for same product for 500 RMB? No. Well, only you can cut down the cost to 50 RMB, still 10 times the retail price. So that's the practice. A great product, I think the cost, manufacturing cost is high, and to the retail, and it's very expensive. The consumer cannot afford it. Such a product cannot sell well. Then if you want to sell great product, you must improve the whole efficiency. So our approach to revolutionize the process, pretty much like half a century ago when Walmart launched the reform. For example, at that time, 65% of margin, and then all senior Sam changed that, and in 20 years make Walmart as the world #1. So the key issue is to improve the efficiency. 25 years ago, Costco emerged with a higher efficiency. So I think if we can challenge the global issue, improve the overall efficiency with only a few percentage points to complete the whole process. So with that, we first tried cell phone manufacturing, and the nature of it is to make the Muji product in the manufacturing sector. So back to the year 2010, you targeted not only cell phone, but also others, right? Yes. So how to make the Muji product in the high-tech sector? Costco has 4,000 SKU. If you make a store, and if you only have one cell phone, then your traffic will be very low. The visitors will be very limited. 6 years ago, I think we must have at least 50 SKUs possible to attract enough traffic. Then, based on this idea, we first started Xiaomi.net, now Xiaomi Family, and previous trials we believe were very exciting and inspiring. And for 1 month, the sales per square meter was 50% higher than that in the App Store. And so we may need only 5 to 6% of it to complete the sales process. I think that will be a great success. Let me explain the T-shirt issue from 100 to 1,000 because the distribution cost is very high, and if you cannot sell well, the warehouse cost, inventory cost will be added to the final retail price. That's why from 100 to 1,000. And so you want to work out the inventory warehouse issue. And how would you cut down the cost, make it flat? Previous trial was e-com, right? You have the mi.com. That is a big e-commerce. So do you mean that you want to start with the physical stores? And will that be an outlet? He says, I will try both online and offline. Today, Xiaomi.com is our core issue, that direct sales, direct e-com. Second is in the major stores of major cities will open some Xiaomi stores. And our plan is 5 to 6 stores for each city in the major malls, shopping malls, and each one will be 250 square meters. We now have one in Hangzhou City. This one we try to have hundreds of stores, even more. But this is and the sales is very good. Well, we can say that each Xiaomi store for the first day will have at least 1 million RMB sales. And it's only from the 250 square meters. The first month is always very successful and profitable. So for the last few months trials, the cost percentage is 4%. Usually it's 30 to 40% for the regular stores. So if we can expand this, we can not only succeed in the e-com, but also the offline store. We will have our great efficiency optimization. So with that, a great product will be distributed similar to the cost of the manufacturing, only a few percentage points. So I think if we can find solutions to improve the efficiency, we can succeed. Because the difficulty with distribution is how you operate, how you cut down the operational cost. So the first thing Xiaomi would like to do is to make itself as a Muji in the high-tech sector, so that to entertain everyone with a low cost, consumers can access your product at a lower price. There might be some misleading stories because Xiaomi is quite arguable, controversial company online. Probably, I encourage all of you to experience that in our store. Probably, many people who are never Xiaomi users are criticizing us. I'm fully confident for that, and you encourage your experience. So in the last 5 years, Xiaomi is dedicated to the e-com and started the offline stores only from this year. You mentioned the dedication. I think many people don't think it well, because actually we make our choices. We give up something and to take something. For example, the ecological system will focus on this Muji business model in the high-tech sector. Without enough excuse, we cannot attract enough traffic.
So this is one thing has been missing by the public. We're not just a cell phone company. We are a retail branding company. I have one more question about the eco chain you mentioned. Our understanding about the ecological environment means that it needs to exist in a more micro business environment. I see it as a presentation of the commercial ability and the supply chain and the distribution chain of one company. Very rare it would be a closed circle. If it is a circle, then it means the whole chain is very vertical. I've never discussed this with you before, but there are some comments saying Xiaomi is producing a lot of products like the routers, like this switches and the AC in the cars and the cell phones. And you want to develop include all those products into one circle is what you are thinking now. For example, you have one product now, and in the future you may have tens or dozens or hundreds of products. So if you see these products as a circle, then what are the relations among them, and what are the relations between them and other products? This is, I think, if you look at the Xiaomi network and the Xiaomi family as a retail brand, you mentioned a lot about the Muji. It is not an internet company, so it means the products of Muji are not related together. They are united under one concept or a concept of a lifestyle. However, for Xiaomi, all the products will be related to each other, like the cell phones, like the routers that you will produce, they consists a circle themselves. So how do you see this difference? We've thought about all those through. First, we need a utilized style in terms of the design and the experience of our products, so the customer will have a similar experience when they are using them. Second, our strategy, the core of our strategy is centered around the cell phone to develop other derivatives. So the interconnection between different products are very crucial for us. We are an open network, which means our devices can be connected with our own, but also with others, that where real value is generated. I agree. Now, a lot of Chinese companies are doing software, hardware, and the network, and integrated them together into one circle. Do you agree with this model? I think different companies may choose different approaches. For example, Xiaomi, through equity investment to participate in other companies like iQIYI and Youku, and to develop a in-depth connection with internet industry, which is a more open approach. So different companies have different strategies. Let's see, 3 years later, what a company will Xiaomi become? do you think you will have like 1,000 Xiaomi families, Xiaomi stores around the country? And what will be the flagship product of Xiaomi? Is it still the cell phone? I think it would be cell phone for at least 3 years. Then what will be the echo chain of Xiaomi by then? You have now 85 million users, which developed in the past years. And in the past 6 years, you also developed a product chain, which is very controversial. After 3 years, how these two parts will develop or evolve? Do you have any projection about those two? For me, I think Xiaomi needs to concentrate. So we need to think clear what we should do and what part should be left to our partners. And we are very cautious on this. For our own products, our own manufacturing is very limited. Most part of our chain will be outsourced to other partners. We have two chains now. First is the internet chain. All the apps and devices and functions based on this network of Xiaomi. I think the scale of this chain already surpassed the imagination of many people. In this May, we have more than 200 million users of the UI products. I mean, the active users who actually use our UI products is more than 200 million. And we have 46 apps that have active users more than 5 million. And we have 1,000 apps who have active users of more than 1 million. For example, 今日头条, we also invested in this app, and the 一点资讯, they are all part of our information chain. So we have a system, we have a network here which reach out deeply into this industry. We covered almost 100 companies in this area. So we do this through equity investment and other ways to participate in the UI sector. But we also have a smart hardware network, have several directions. First, we need to connect all those hardware devices together. And we need to be a leader in this area to have more, to extend our connections with others. I think it's a very valuable strategy. The thing is that now we haven't done enough. It is very difficult. Apple and Google are trying to do the same thing. But it's difficult. It's very challenging to move forward. Why is that? First, I think now we have solution for one end, connection from one end to another. Xiaomi developed a protocol for this connection. And even more, we are doing the model, we are doing the clouding service, and we provide a comprehensive solution for this. Once we have this solution, we tried it out with different partners. However, it is still very difficult for us to move forward on this. So in the next 3 years, you still concentrate on a circle, and then try to expand it to other areas. Yes, we're trying to make it exclusive as possible, but now it is still very challenging. Every company has the same idea. They want their own circle, but would result in more difficulties in connecting different circles together, because every company has their own philosophy on this, and there is no mutual trust. You always think your standards, your protocol is the best, but I don't want to have my own standards. I want to harmonize myself with others. We don't want IP, we don't want patent. We just ask for connection between our cell phones with other systems, with other networks. It is sounds like a simple request. However, it is very challenging. It's very difficult to realize. Everyone, the carriers, want their own network, and it would be the last resort for them to connect with other carriers. Well, the internet, the resource on the internet has been taken by many participants. It is a historical issue. But now you are playing a very unique role. You are a participant in the internet, and now you're a manufacturer of hardwares. How do you see this relation? If we do not produce those devices, instead, we set up standards. I don't see the feasibility of this. So our strategy is we develop our own system to connect different ends, different devices. All this system have my participation, and all of those devices can be easily connected to my cell phone. When those devices is increasing, then the edge, the advantage of this Xiaomi network will be more and more accurate to the public. So you need to do a lot of things. You need to connect to many other devices, like the switch, like any household applications. So the cell phone will like a remoter to control all of those devices. Yes, exactly. So this is a very important goal of Xiaomi. All our standards or protocols are public to are open to the public. We are doing this as a pilot program. You need to demonstrate how efficient or how practical this is to the public, to other participants. At the end of the day, the volume of your users will determine everything. And the standards with the most users will become the universal standard. I'm very impressed by your interview the other day. You're saying that Xiaomi is a very different Chinese company. And today, in this annual meeting, would you explain or demonstrate how Xiaomi is different from other Chinese companies? Well, one difficulty I'm encountered with is that Xiaomi, in terms of its business model, is a very complicated, complex company. It's hard to explain it in a plain language. This is one question haunted me for the past 6 years. So if for a Malaysian audience who know nothing about Xiaomi, what would you say to him? Of course, you are not a food producer. We know that. So to make things easier, I would explain I'm a cell phone producer. We sell cell phones on internet. But it never occurred to you to introduce Xiaomi as an internet company, not just a cell phone producer, for a very simple reason. If you want me to explain the business model of Xiaomi, it will take half an hour. Because there are different perspectives, different angles to explain it. For example, people know that Xiaomi is a Chinese cell phone producer. We know that. But how many people know that Xiaomi is the number 3 e-commerce company in China? And how many know that China is aiming to become the world leading retail company in the world? So that is from the retail perspective. And in terms of internet, now we have 200 million users. We have a lot of coverage. We have a big coverage in country, and our network covers more than 100 companies and partners, which surpassed already the imagination and understanding of many people. And now Xiaomi already invested in 55 smart hardware companies and producers, which covered almost every aspect of people's life. Just like Xiaohui said, we have the air purifier, we have the water purifier, we have the drone, we have the household, even the fans. I love the fans. I don't want to advertise, but it is a very good product. I don't mind if you can give one free for each of us here. But the fan is so delicately designed. It needs no electricity. Then we cannot use the fan. It is powered by battery. So if there is mosquito in your backyard, you bring this fan out with wireless. It can move to everywhere. And if you go outside in summer, it's very convenient. So Xiaomi has a lot of smart products which don't attract a lot of enough attention because people only pay attention to some particular products of Xiaomi. So why would we do that? Because we have a lot of rationales or reasons behind this. For example, I said we want to connect our cell phones to other devices.
Second, we want to make ourselves as Muji in the high tech. We need at least 50 SKUs in our store. But a bigger reason is that we have found a way to combine internet thinking with the physical economy. He says, we are interested in you for others. He says, we hope we can help 100 industries make improvement, probably with extreme ways, so that we have put 100 pieces of catfish to stir the whole pond. For example, 4.5 years ago, we started our operation in the cell phone business. And after our disturbance, you see some people phase out, somebody make improvement. That's our contribution in the cell phone manufacturing in China. For example, 1 year ago, we started the power outlet 1 year and a half ago. And now you see that all the peers are making progress, although not as good as our products. We hope that others can make great efforts to surpass us. So our effort is now to phase out everyone. I think that's the biggest misunderstanding of us. We don't think we have the capacity, and we don't think we have the desire. We don't make this as our goal. Our goal is to improve the whole industry. So in the past years, I welcome all kinds of interaction. We want to present our experiences with the peers, other companies, even other industry. For example, for the electric cook. And 2 years ago, I started this. He says, is that a bet with the Dong Mingzhu, who is the owner of the Green, chairwoman? He said, well, we started the Japanese electric cooks, and however, people thought because the rice is better, the water is better. Actually, no, it's their device is better because there is a macro pressure available. We've made the rice, cook rice for so many years, but the best is 105 Celsius degree and 1.2 air pressure. So the key is to have the micro pressure, and we launched the product with different brand called the Mi family, and we started the market and found there was no similar product in China. No other products than the Japanese products. So words will not make the products. We must make something. He says, people go to Japan to purchase the products for 5,000 RMB. If the Chinese manufacturers made similar, he says, our products are 999 RMB. Yes, it's very simple because we sell it at our cost. It's very simple. So what I'm saying is really valuable. It's an improvement of the efficiency. It says for the government, and we talk about So, for example, 10 RMB you sell cost for sale for 600 because of distribution, because of the inventory cost, and some return of the goods may be costly, maybe 35%. For the electric home appliance, the margin is not high. The advertisement is 6 to 8%. The distribution up at the 8 to 9%. And about the white and black home appliance. Lei Jun says, if you study further, he says it's not possible. I will not elaborate on the trade secrets because that may be offensive to many people. You point out to anyone, if you point to anyone, have in-depth study anything, what is the average cost? It includes multiple factors. First is the rebate, how much you sell it, and be aware of the operational cost furnish, and you also you need sales representatives and inventory, and the power bill is much more than you thought. So today, most of the products, and half of it, even more than of it, is in the distribution, how they sell it to you. So I will not elaborate on the trade secrets. Many people think that Xiaomi is a business model. That's the only advantage. Actually, we have other reasons, more complicated than many people think. How to make your product great, then cut down the cost. That's a big challenge. Traditionally, many manufacturers, for example, make 100 models for the same development. If you have 100 types of the inventories, the models, why don't you focus only one model? If you are a traditional manufacturer, you need 100 models from the same development. And to occupy the market, to make the shelf full. There are many reasons, but only a few sentences. I win. So why don't you elaborate at Davos, WEF? I was going only given 45 minutes. Actually, in the traditional model, it's that's the way to make elaborate. Make blah 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 things. For example, TV set 48 inches. The cheapest one will be 2,000 RMB. Then you will tell me that that is not available. They only let you know that only the most expensive is available. Then you pay for 6,000 RMB, probably for the same product. So with the 2,000 price tag to attract you in the store, and to bombard you with 10,000 and sell it for 6,000. The MC said you will be hit after this WF. Actually, there's a minor difference between different models. So I attract you with the 2,000 and bombard you with 10,000 and sell you for 6,000. Why don't you focus on single product, your core product, the best product? Because with the internet era, with the information disclosure, you cannot fool your consumers. And you only make one product. For example, only one size TV set, sell it for 1/3 of the peer products. Mr. Wu, you are the expert, but actually I'm the people in the field. I'm thinking of this all these years. So how to make a great product and how to lower down the cost with massive production. And not only Xiaomi, but also others with ecosystem. We only focus on one product, usually to source the best experts and at all cost to make one product in 1 or 2 years with R&D input, massive input to make one great product. We developed our Power to Outlet with R&D investment of 10 million RMB. We spend tons of the regular efforts to make a great product. I think that's the best way to optimize your cost. This is always standard. You make 10 million or 20 million production. The traditional way is to 100 models with only 1,000 or 2,000 for each. The cost is very high for maintenance, managerial things. Everything is expensive. very important business concept here is that what we're advocating is to partner with users, make friends with your users. You don't fool your friends. It's 100 RMB cost. You don't sell it for 1,000. If your friends knows your cost is 100, then your friends will be fooled to discover the cost and the retail price. Don't look at me with that eyes. You know me for years. And people often argue that why don't you give me a discount, 15% discount? No, I cannot because we sell it at the cost. This is, the bad practice of the traditional business model. So I'm often thinking and saying that important new business innovation is that treat your users as friends. That all those people who saying they are treating customers as their gods are, kind of jerk or things. If you are saying your customers are gods, are treating your friends, treating your customers as fools, that's some bad guys activity. I says, we always treat our users as friends. And thank you very much, and Lei Jun. And back to the year 2010, the Xiaomi applied internet thinking to the cell phone manufacturing, and there were many followers, and that has created a new trend in the manufacturing sector. Now today is the Tianjin Summer Diverse WF. We talk about the transition, industrial transition. I believe Xiaomi at least is a typical success story in the transition. We take this as a case study. We may ask a question. Xiaomi is diversifying in many complicated, for example, the Xiaomi family to the 20,000 connection, 80 million users ecosystem, more and more sophisticated. Is your model can be copied in China or in the world? The last question, if your model can be copied. I think it really depends on what level. When I started the Xiaomi hardware ecosystem, we are trying to answer this question. Many people was questioning that our business could not be copied. So that is a miracle. He says, actually, we can copy. We are helping 50 companies who are copying us. You've seen many things that are not manufactured by us. For example, by some projector companies, how to make our product as an icon product. So from our manufacturing, Xiaomi is great. Actually, they can copy your cell phone model to make electric cook. But what about the greater aspect, the Xiaomi in general? If Lenovo, Huawei, or Guomei, can they copy your business model? He says, I think it's very difficult. The most difficult part is that it is hardware, software, and the internet ecosystem. It's a fusion. Few companies have such DNA available to branch in the hardware, software, and the internet. The biggest challenge that it needs a group of people who have all these things in one. How can you be such a person? He said, a good question. I think I started this company with that basic idea. So in our early days, we have the people from 4 major companies, Motorola, the Google, and Kingsoft. We try to make ourselves a great person, to the I'm person, to make ourselves from the 8 co-founders, to make a I'm people team. One single person cannot make it successful. So we have the founders from 4 top hardware and software companies in the world. So we are trying to, from the very first day, to make I'm people race. What is biggest concern? I don't have concerns. So what I'm thinking, what is the top of your mind every day? So he says, for me, how to make each product a great product. I think that's the core thing what we are doing. Don't elaborate on others, consumer experience, unparalleled consumer experience or product experience is the greater things. Do you have time reading? He says he's a bookworm. He's a fan. Before he started Xiaomi, he dressed in shorts and read books every day and around in the city. He says not much as before, but definitely 1 or 2 hours every day. We usually spend 1 or 2 hours on cell phone. Last question. So when would you have the IPO of Xiaomi? He says from the very first day that not in the 5 years. Today I can say that another 5 years. Actually, the Xiaomi business model from the first, I believe we need 15 years at least for IPO. So why don't you let us know earlier? He says, well, if I say 15 years, people will think I'm fooling everyone. So I first says not in the first 5 years, because we believe Xiaomi needs to be trusted by consumers from bottom of their heart. So after 9 years, you still don't have IPO. He says, first we have this business model accepted by our consumers, and you should understand and accept. So now we are in the second phase. That is the make ourselves as a Fuji in high-tech sector. This is something we wanted to do it 6 years ago. Now it's only the time now we can have it to have the fusion of online and offline to launch the branding. Now, if we make it as well, but then when you review our development, you understand that you can understand our business model. Thank you very much, Mr. Liu Jin, for sharing with us so many secrets, insights. Thank you very much.